Told me early on that you should be able to make your decision if you're going to marry someone after 1 year. That was her argument, her opinion, which I agree with to this day.
Ultimatums.
That, look, you have a year, you have 12 months. I'm getting old. I want children.
I didn't say I'm getting old.
The typical ultimatums, you know, that you have 12 months to figure your stuff out. Otherwise, you can just bounce. So I said, okay, let's think really hard about this. And in between, I'm coming and going. So I'd come to Kenya for maybe a month and a half. I'd go back to the U.S. I'd work for a month and a half. I'd come back for a few weeks. I'd go back. So it was back and forth, back and forth. So Doris was like, look, it's getting to the clock's running out. So I knew that I needed to make a decision.
Because you told me.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, so we're on the same team. So
I know we're on the same team, but get this. This is important. This is important. So he actually formally asked me to be his girlfriend, like, hey, will you be my girlfriend? And my response was yes, but not for a year. And guess what she told me?
A year's all I need.
I don't even need 6 months.
Yeah, sometimes you overstep your words a little bit. But anyway, so I went to the jewelry store, I bought a ring, and I knew that Doris always wanted to go to this castle, Egerton's Castle. Egerton's Castle. In, where is it?
First of all, the story of how we went home the first time.
It's that's the same story.
Okay. So at the time when we were planning, even after we've decided, okay, this looks like something, I think it's time for me to meet your parents. I mean, I wasn't in talking terms with my dad so well, so I needed to mend that first. So as soon as it happened, he had to go home to meet my dad and mom.
Killing two birds with one stone, essentially.
Yes. So he comes. I think that trip was specifically for you to come and meet my parents.
Yeah. So that was the agenda. But I knew, Doris always told me about this castle. She said, like, I've always dreamed of taking my husband to this castle. It's a beautiful place. Where is it again?
Lord Egerton.
Lord Egerton's, but it's in...
Nakuru.
Nakuru, yeah. So I knew that that's where I wanted to propose to Doris. So we went to Bomet. We met with the mom and dad.
You knew that?
Yeah. So we went to mom and dad.
But it was my suggestion to go through Nakuru.
It was all planned.
Oh.
So we met mom and dad, met the family, we spoke, and I asked Mose, I said, Mose, look, I want to marry your daughter. You know, I understand there's cultural things that we have to do, and my parents have to come here, and, you know, we have to discuss some serious matters of cows, but this is something I'm serious about, you know? So he gave me permission. He said, look, I give you my blessing. So Doris had no idea.
That?
Doris had no idea at this time. So we went to the castle. And the whole time I'm like, she's gonna touch my pocket, she's gonna feel the ring. I was like sweating, I had it in my back pocket. So then we go.
You were acting weird the whole time.
Well, yeah.
But initially, I'd be like, maybe because we're going home, there's the anxiety of meeting parents and whatnot. But literally, you were acting weird. And then we come from home, and then I think I'm the one who suggested that we go via Nakuru, so that we can take like a trip, right? So we go, this was like on Saturday. So immediately after the visitations and whatnot. So we go home and then we sleep in Nax. And then the next day, he's like, since we've woken up so early, let's go by the castle you've always wanted to go.
And I think you were a little apprehensive at first. You're like, you know, I told you I've always wanted to go there with my husband. I'm like, I think it'll be okay. I think you'll be happy with the trip. So we go there.
To take a significant other.
We went there with her best friend and her best friend's husband, and we drove through and we were walking around and I'm thinking, okay, when am I going to do this? When am I going to have time? So the best friend's husband knew. He had an idea that this was going to happen, but I was like, you can't tell your wife because she's going to spill it to Doris. So we get outside. I'm like, why don't we take a nice picture, you know, of the whole place? So Doris was backing up, and then that's when I got on my knee. We were trying to figure out how Doris could meet my folks before we got married. Because in my culture, generally, the parents know the daughter way before you guys get married. It's, you know, there's not so many cultural challenges with the potential daughter-in-law or son-in-law. Usually you know the families very well, you spend time with them, you sleep at their house, the mothers can take you out to really get to know you. So this was now me trying to tell my parents that I'm going to get married before you even meet your future daughter-in-law. which is really hard on me, hard on everybody.